I'm not going to lie to you. For many of you, what you're about to see is going to sting a little. In fact, it's going to sting more than a little. Hey, it's Anthony Iannarino, thesalesblog.com, right here, youtube.com/Iannarino, author of The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need and The Lost Art of Closing, which will be out 60 days from the day that I'm shooting this video. That makes it August 8th, 2017. And I just watched a video from Gary Vaynerchuk from Planet of the Apps, which is a new Apple show where it's sort of like Shark Tank or The Voice or something, where there's 4 judges. People present an app and they decide whether or not they're going to coach that team and try to help them do something with the app and get some sort of a deal. I have not watched the show yet, but I intend to. I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. I think he does a terrific job, and he is the best in the world when it comes to social media marketing. And he's also a terrific salesman. He's a great pitch man. He's a great front man for his businesses, and he's killing it. And I've had the pleasure of meeting him. I've had the pleasure of talking to him in the past. And so I know a little bit about him. And I've had some conversations with him privately, and I've seen him with groups privately as well. And in this particular clip, which he just put up on Facebook, and I will link to in the show notes here, he's telling 2 young app developers, a young man and a young woman, that they have to do something if they want his support. And what he tells them is, look, you need to start sending cold emails to the list of 20 or 30 of the owners of private security companies in America. And the gentleman, app developer, says, cold emails? And Vaynerchuk says, if you don't spend every waking moment with cold emails and calling these people, I won't take a meeting. And then he flashes back to 2012, and it's a clip of him just telling people how to use the internet to generate business. And he says, look, if you're looking for advertisers, what you do is you Google somebody, and he Googled beer manufacturers, and he picked up the phone and called somebody and said, literally, who do I need to talk to about advertising your beer on my blog? That's the coldest of cold calls. That is indiscriminately choosing a company on Google just because they're a beer manufacturer. No research done, absolutely no idea who they are, no insight about the business. He just knows that if they have a need to drive more traffic, that he can help them by pitching them to advertise on blogs at that time. It's 2012, so that probably would not be the advice he would give anyone today. But he does give the young app developers the advice to spend every waking moment cold emailing and cold calling the 20 or 30 private owners of security firms in America. And why does he do that? Why would he give that recommendation? And I'll tell you why. Because it's speed to results. It's a willingness to do what's necessary to put your offer or to put your idea in front of the right people. It's a willingness to be uncomfortable, and it's a willingness to ask for what you want and what you need, which is time. That's the first commitment you need, so that you can share an idea and explore an idea with your prospective client. He's telling them to cold call and cold email because he wants them to succeed. And what he's looking for is their willingness to do whatever it takes to succeed. And he tells them literally, if you don't spend every waking moment doing this, I won't take a meeting. And the reason he won't take the meeting is he's not going to waste his time. If they're not all in, he's not going to go all in. So there's a bunch of people who will tell you social media is the only way to generate new opportunities. Inbound is the only way to generate new opportunities. There are voices on LinkedIn that will tell you the cold call is dead and sales is dead and that none of these things are going to work in the future. But what they're telling you is that they can't do these things. They're telling you that they don't see a future for this because they're not good at the things that it takes to bring speed to results, which means picking up the phone and calling strangers and pitching them and asking them for a meeting. They're uncomfortable doing that, but it doesn't mean that you have to be uncomfortable doing that. And they all look up to and admire Vaynerchuk, and they should. He's done a tremendous job as a businessman. He's done a better job building an international brand that's now fueling an entire business called VaynerMedia. But the first advice he gives to someone who needs to generate opportunity is to pick up the phone and make cold calls and to make cold emails. And the title of the video is What I Think About Cold Calling. And he would do it for his own business, and he would tell you to do it for your business. And I sat in a room and watched him tell a gentleman to come up with a list of 30 targets and to call them and invite them to dinner. This is whatever it takes, and cold calling isn't dead. Some people say cold calling doesn't work, and that's because their cold calling doesn't work. It doesn't mean that mine doesn't work, and it doesn't mean that yours isn't going to work. So look, you got to go all in, and you can't believe the lies. Right now, the telephone still works. It's still the fastest way to reach people and generate opportunities now. Social media marketing, brand building, above the funnel stuff, absolutely the best long-term play you can make, and no one believes that more than I do. Short term, what are you going to do today? You better pick up the phone. And hit the subscribe button while you're here. I'm Anthony Iannarino. This is Everyday.